All right, we'll call this meeting to order, 21st of April, 2020 at 1600, or otherwise known as 4 p.m. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. We're getting close to the end of this exercise, so I'll go ahead and take a roll call here. Mr. Saganik? Here. Mr. Hanzik?
Here.
Mr. Hayes?
Here.
Mr. Schock here. Hollis and Murillo are absent. Okay. So first item on the agenda is to approve the April 7th, 2020 meeting minutes.
I make a motion that we approve.
I'm trying to take notes too, so John Hayes.
Second.
John Hayes. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, the meeting minutes, they were a little sloppy, I know, trying to do both, but hopefully you've had a chance to review those, and if anyone would like to make a motion, we approve those. Enter that in the record.
With one correction.
Okay?
I mean, if we're gonna make this as good as you and Ron have made it now, on the page that's it's the one that has the registration fees for rental units.
Oh, I think they're just the meeting minutes, I'm sorry.
Oh, I apologize.
Sorry, yeah.
I thought we already.
I'll motion.
No, okay.
I'll second it.
All right, so Ron. Okay, motion passes 4-0. Okay. All right, I started it. I started it. Okay. All right, so I tried my best to put together the items that we discussed at the last meeting, which was great. Took me a little while, but hopefully I captured most of that. Put it together, sent it to Patty. Of course, Patty sent it out to you. And Ron had some great suggestions, and so many so that she actually did another copy of the brief. So what I've done is I'm calling mine the original just for semantic purposes, I guess, and then I have the one and I put Ron on there. So I keep track of which is which.
I tried to figure out how to do a red line, and I couldn't do it in the
I
PowerPoint.
know.
How to do it.
It's
in Word.
okay.
I know.
It's okay.
So I ended up being a duplicate.
So I guess the first question would be, are there any, before we get into, and some of it's substantive, but a lot of it is grammatical and just better wording. But before we do that, are we at the point where we're in agreement that the content we want in here is included? In other words, are there any additions to the overall document that we want to include, or are we down to really the fine-tuning of the details? I guess it's the former then, right?
In my opinion, based on our last meeting, Ron, I'd say we're at that point that this is ready to go to the city council.
Okay. All right, then what I would suggest we do, let's make sure
The
we,
gist of it is what we hammered out last time we
Yep.
met, so with the input that everybody added to it, and your notes were excellent. Appreciated that.
so then if we balance it, if you go to page 1, all right, the first 3 bullets, no suggested edits. The 4th bullet is one that had a suggested change, where it says, original had no excessive expenses, and then you can read on Ron's, it says exhaustive review of expenses uncovered no excess expenses. So how would we like that to read, that sentence to read?
Good by me.
Would you prefer the exhaustive review of expenses
Yeah.
uncovered?
Yes.
No excess expenses, okay? Then we'll
And I just thought that would, because we did spend a lot of time, we interviewed Lynn, we beat him up, made him chase down
Right.
care expenses and do some other stuff. And so we did spend a lot of time on that.
We did, okay. Bullet 4, you can read it, which one you think, I'll read Ron's, that says conclusion of committee review is an excellent administration of city finances, which I think definitely reads better than city money or monies. is exercised by the city manager and staff with proper oversight of the mayor and city council. You like that?
I do.
Okay. All right, page 2. Okay. All right. You compare, and again, I'll read the corrections, or suggested corrections, guided by the priorities spelled out in the city strategic plan. The capital improvement plan is detailed, accurately addressing city infrastructure maintenance and improvement needs. Do we like that wording better? All right, well,
Yes.
it's down to 1,000 so far. All right. Okay, top two.
Rick, just for the, I just thought the optic of separating the bullet points instead of it all running together, that was kind of the main thing. And then there's just a few word changes here and there. It's not, the spirit of what you originally offered is, I don't think that's been addressed
Sure.
or changed.
Yeah, and I understand, I think why you did on bullet number 2, I had the top 2 priorities, and he had, the revision reads, top priorities are stormwater and floodwater management as detailed in the city's 2016 stormwater master plan. That's a little shorter, more concise. Do we like that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Third bullet, page 2, seawall, street and bridge maintenance and repair are the next priorities, also well addressed by the capital improvement plan. Right, okay. All right. Third page, again, a bit of maybe a clarification. It reads, CIP is in alignment with the strategic plan, and the guidelines are accurately reflected. Like the way that reads? Okay. All right. Bullet 2, page 3. Committee commends the city's thorough development of these plans and recommends continuous monitoring of priorities to guide maintenance and improvement needs. So I like the way you worded that together instead of recommends, commends. So we good with that? As submitted? All right. Page 4, first 3 bullets were no suggested changes. Bullet 4.
Change that 1.01, it's 1 million.
1.0.
Yeah.
1 million, okay.
Yeah.
I was having a little fun with that, tell me that.
I don't want to confuse anybody.
Yeah. All right, 4th bullet, based on recommendations of municipal advisors, I like that. Committee recommends keeping the reserve funds separate and maintain current balances. You like that? You capture it, okay? All right. And lastly, funds are properly invested in conservative liquid accounts. Good. All right. Page 4. Excuse me, page 5. Okay. There's a highlight on the first bullet on mine, you all.
Yeah,
I got that.
I highlighted it because I didn't know if it was a way to increase city revenue. So that's why I thought that might just need to be struck.
I agree. That's not specifically a way, I mean, it might develop some, but that, I think that's why I suggested to take that out. Okay. Got it? Everybody's in agreement? Stormwater fees. aggressively pursue current rather than this initiative with a target implementation date of October 1, 2020. And is that the right date? That's a fair date, if I remember correctly, right?
So far.
Okay, so that's a, projected revenue increase of $140,000. Like that?
Yeah. Does this have to go, once the council gets all their information from these people checking this all out, and the council votes on it, does it have to go to the voters for approval?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. Okay.
Does there, excuse me, but Lynn, does there have to be like a reading at the city council meetings?
There has to be a public hearing,
Yeah.
and we have to create some ordinances,
Yep.
and then we have to do, we're gonna have to take out a small loan for some materials, like the check valves or something to get the validation, to confirm it. So that's kind of the process, and then after the validation, then it would go into effect.
So the public does have an opportunity to give input.
Right.
And we're probably one of a few, if not the only city that doesn't have a stormwater
Yeah.
fee already assessed.
Right.
And have never had one?
No, it's been brought up a couple times, but no one's ever taken it forward.
All right, page 5, bullet number 3, renter registration fees. Increase as opposed to raise annual fee from 100 to 300 per renter. Projected revenue of $40,000. You like that, Reed?
What are the change?
Well, only if we want this perfect, which I'm sure you do.
We do.
That I thought Lynn said it's technically called the rental registration.
Registration.
Is that correct?
Right.
And if we make it rental, we might want to say per rental or per rental unit.
No, I agree.
Or rental property.
That's fine too.
You know, I mean, even in a condo, it's still considered within the building a property of sorts, isn't it?
In our building, we call it a rental unit,
Oh, okay.
which really covers a single family home as well, if you want to call it rental unit rather than renter.
Okay, so rental registration fee is proper, okay?
Yep.
All right, increase annual fee from 100 to 300. How do we want that to read? Per property or per unit, per rental unit?
Per rental unit.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay. Okay, got it. Projected revenue of $40,000, okay? All right, page 6. Okay, bullet number 1. Potential for, suggestions, potential for revenue opportunity, which I agree reads better. It's simpler, straight to the point. We in agreement that reads better, that bullet is better? All right. Okay. Bullets 2 and 3, there were no suggested changes, at least at this point, no? Okay. So we'll move on to page 7. All right. Okay. Bullet number 1, page 7, 20-year bond for capital improvements. Consider leveraging recommended stormwater fees to expedite stormwater capital improvement projects. Now, my question, is that really what we're doing, or is that just money that would be going into the normal cap? I know it has to be used for stormwater. Because we consider leveraging stormwater fees. So maybe I'm confused here, but I think, are we mixing two things together here? The bond money that might be used, because that could be used for things outside of stormwater.
No.
Now, the stormwater fees, which can only be used for stormwater, right?
Yeah, the bond you would get could only be used for stormwater.
Okay.
And you would pledge your
Stormwater.
stormwater fees to the payment of the bond.
Got it.
And this, I don't know what the right.
Got it,
answer is,
okay,
But
yes.
it's not a way to increase revenue.
No.
So I'm not sure what our header should be on here.
Okay. Yeah, not really increasing, yeah.
Maybe it should just say bond funding or something like that.
Yeah, I think we give city, because we talk about the existing bond and keep it in, so,
City bond funding.
city financing,
Yeah.
city financing options. Or
Oh,
recommendations,
okay.
I guess this is really we're recommending,
Yeah, that makes sense, Ron.
Mhm.
you know,
Well, the same thing's true for the second,
Yeah.
the fourth bullet, if you will, right? Neither one of those are really increasing city revenue. So maybe we should better retitle this slide.
recommended financing plan,
Uh,
or
Alternatives?
recommend financing, because we're showing this stormwater bond as an option. These are more options, I think.
Mhm.
It's not, we're not saying we think the city should do this. We're saying this is an available
That's
option.
right, that's right.
Available option to the city, so,
Okay.
I concur with you, Ron.
city leverage options, city financing options.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that would actually, yeah, because that would fit in with the next, I mean, it would flow right into long-term financial goals. I don't see a problem with that. So. Let's see. Do we like city financial options, considerations? What do you think, Steve?
I'd put city financing or leverage. I'd either use financing or leverage.
I like the leverage words, power word. City financing leverage,
Financing or leverage.
city leverage.
Yeah.
And you need to have the word option there, or?
Recommendations?
I don't need the word option in there, Ron.
City leverage.
It's an option.
City leverage recommendation.
Either way. I don't know, but we're just making the city aware that this bond could be available. We're not necessarily recommending they take the bond out.
Right.
It's more up to
City council.
city council to review, hey, do we want to pull,
Right.
our 10 years of stormwater projects forward? Or, but just letting them know that here is an option. This is the avenue that they can fund it if they so choose to. And maybe we put that city financial, maybe we put the first bullet point, should city want to pull forward or I guess it's really, I'm taking that last bullet point, bond may expedite maintenance project completion while limiting inflation costs. Actually, that doesn't flow right.
You can put in there, Ron, on that bullet, bond approval might or may expedite maintenance project completion. Maintenance / repair projects. Because in essence, what we're looking at from your input,
City,
taking a bond out at the lower interest rate, we're locked into the low interest rate, so we're saving money over time.
So Rick, I think what I'd do is I would put that second indented bullet point, bond may expedite maintenance project completion, and there's a comma there after completion. I'd put that above the $2 million bond finance. And then just say, well, this is what this may do, is it may expedite capital improvements, and then the vehicle would be the $2 million bond. So I would just flip-flop those two bullet points.
okay. I'd probably,
Yeah. Good idea.
leave the rest of the words on the first bullet though, right?
Yeah, and then there's a comma after completion in that third bullet point.
Completion while limiting inflation costs, okay. All right. Okay. Back to the title though, city leverage option, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's city leverage options with an S.
Okay. Okay, so, and then the indented would be bond may expedite maintenance project completion, comma, while limiting inflation costs. $2 million bond finance over 2020 is approximately 100% in annual debt service, okay, rather than in service debt, okay. All right. Okay. And so a better terminology as a bond would be extinguished. We like extinguished, I like extinguished.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's-
Okay. Unlocking $200,000 in annual cash flow, okay. All right. 8, no suggested change. Might want to take a minute, read that and see if we forgot anything.
I think it was a good, I thought this was a good summary, Rick, of what we're recommending.
Okay. Thanks to all of us. All right, number 9. First three bullets look good. Okay, so we have a little bit of comedy. CL will be paid off in less than 5 years, freeing up $200,000 per year in debt.
I think we should say debt service or cash flow, because that's what we're doing. We're
We
free.
used cash flow before. Which one do we use?
Yeah, cash flow.
Okay. These funds come coupled with the recommended $250,000 of additional revenue opportunities outlined by this committee. I like that. Outlined, okay? Places the city in a stronger and more enviable financial position. You good with that? All right, Tim. One bullet, first suggested change was bullet number 3. Staff provide outstanding and suggested using the word execution as opposed to oversight.
Yeah, because I think council provides oversight,
Okay,
staff executes.
like it, got you. Okay. Okay. Bullets 4 and 5, any suggested changes?
Rick, did you mention that it would be good to put numbers on each page.
Yes, I will do that.
Yeah.
That is a good suggestion. I'll make sure I remember to do that. So, all right. Any thoughts? What I would anticipate, can't do it tomorrow, but these are not a lot of changes to make, and I'll recognize Patty at a meeting, and I'm certainly going to get her something, because her assistant's been unbelievable, and Lynn, thank you to you and your time, and Patty's just amazing, but, so I'll make the changes, I will send it to her, and what I'd like, please, is to let you all just have another look at it. I don't think we need to have another meeting, but just to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Okay.
And then, a typo or something. And then at that point, we're done, and I would ask her, at that point, she would forward it to the council, correct? And then it gets entered into in the official record, and I guess they take it up at a work session, right? At some point. I don't know when they're next gonna meet, and I'm sure they've got a million things.
That's in the air right now.
Yeah. May, are they supposed to do a teleconference?
Well, we're hoping that the May meeting actually happens, either depending on what the rules are. But we're also talking about a go-to meeting possibly next week, but it's just more housekeeping things than
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
To try to eliminate some of that stuff off the May meeting, because you could end up with a 5 or 6 hour meeting.
Oh, I'll bet. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, as many as we've been to, I mean, yeah.
Marathons.
And that's before a work session or after a work session, right? No.
Lynn, is there anything from your perspective that we have missed or anything?
No, I think you guys did a really good job, and appreciate all your input and things going forward.
Yeah, I think this has been
Appreciate
a
your
great opportunity.
Guidance and
Yeah.
wisdom, knowledge.
Herding cats.
Yeah. So once that's forwarded, then officially we're dissolved, I guess, because we're a 120-day charter, which is by the end of the month, that's where we'll be. And I don't know if we would be asked or I would be asked to appear. I think they probably have more important things going on right now, but certainly after they've reviewed it, if I try to come to city council meetings anyway, for entertainment, no, just kidding. No, or a work session, whatever they want. If I think, and, what a great group this has been, and I've learned a lot. And I love the rewrites, and I think we have something that is succinct. If someone even just looks at the last, just the committee recommendations, there's a lot there. So I think everything stands alone, and it stands collectively as something I think well represents us.
Good leadership.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
leadership
We,
in this.
We pushed through it, and it's been good. I've learned a lot. So thank you. Well, I know we'd like to hang out, but I think I got a cold beer in my fridge. It's probably not what I need. So, would someone like to make a motion, we adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, any opposed? All right. Meeting adjourned.